Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Aaron, and you're tuning in to my modern Magic the Gathering deck tech for the brew I call Eldritch Ascension. As per usual, I'm using tappedout.net to showcase this deck to you lovelies in a quick and consumable manner. But what have we got here today? Well, this deck has been a pet project of mine for almost a year now, as it will be the first brew I take to a modern tournament, and I'm eager to see how it will work out. This is a control mid-range Jund deck with a specific win condition built into it. So let's look at the first card, Pyromancer Ascension. For 1 and 1 red, this enchantment sits on the battlefield and does absolutely nothing until you have successfully cast an instant or sorcery that shares a name with a spell in your graveyard twice. At which point, it comes online and proceeds to twin cast every instant and sorcery you cast for the rest of the game. This effect is slow and plodding and pretty much demands that you play 3 ofs and play sets along with a big graveyard theme. Faithless Looting is the backbone of Modern, fueling many top decks from Red Aggro to Dredge to Hollow One and so much more. It, along with Raven's Crime and Cut to Ribbons, can be cast not only from our hand but also from our graveyard, making it easier for us to get Pyromancer Ascension online, as you only need to see 2 copies of it instead of 3 in order to successfully get that second quest counter onto Pyromancer Ascension. Collective Brutality and Kolaghan's Command can't be cast from our graveyard, but their modal efficiency and ability to discard cards that do want to be in the graveyard makes them instant inclusions. Now, Jund is known for being a massively powerful tempo, mid-range, attrition deck in the format, with incredible 2-for-1s and efficient threats like Maelstrom Pulse, Tarmogoyf, and Liliana of the Veil. And it's undeniable that Cut to Ribbons and Raven's Crime definitely don't fit that mold comparatively to their infamous modern counterparts, Lightning Bolt and Thoughtseize. But we are trading efficiency for synergy. Lightning Bolt is perhaps the strongest red spell in the format, and an early game Thoughtseize has beaten me more times than I care to admit. But neither really mesh well with what Pyromancer's Ascension is trying to do in the deck. Thoughtseize cost of paying 2 life just gets too steep when copied, and Lightning Bolt is ill-suited for a deck that is disinterested in aggressive burn strategies as this deck. If we ever go to the face with our spells, it'll be a twinned Cut to Ribbons for 7 from our graveyard, just smashing them for 10 life each turn, not 3. This deck primarily focuses on keeping our opponents off of their resources in hand and creatures in play until we can go for the kill, so we can't really afford to take our early turns off away from setting up our win condition. Our second card in this sort of win condition is Eldritch Evolution. Well, this deck has been in the work for about 8 months now, and since then, MTG Goldfish came out with their own sweet Eldritch Evolution combo deck that uses Kragenwick Cremator to just toss massive bodies at your opponent's face, which is cool, but I'll do you one better. We'll be rolling up on some 3-drop dudes like Sprouting Thrynax, and some dredgy boys like Golgari Brownscale and Necroplasm, with the wording on Eldritch Evolution saying that you have to sacrifice a creature as an additional cost to cast the spell. Copies of Eldritch Evolution don't need to sacrifice the copies, as they are already being cast and already have that effect, and the X already determined. This means that for 1 and 2 green mana and sacrificing 1 Sprouting Thrynax, you can go ahead and tutor up 2 creatures of 5 converted mana cost or less and put them directly into play. Some prime candidates to choose include our 3 copies of Goblin Dark Dwellers, who can flash back that copy of Eldritch Evolution you just cast upon entering the battlefield for another go at it. That is the main synergy of the deck. You can also get Samut, Voice of Dissent, for that sweet Anthem Hasty goodness, Puppeteer Click to reanimate a creature in your opponent's graveyard, and Arcfiend of Ifnir to nuke the board whenever you discard a card to loot or discard effects. And Dragonlord Kolaghan makes an appearance as yet another reason to twin that Eldritch Evolution. Evolutioning out a Goblin Dark Dwellers, then flashing it back to go get a Dragonlord Kolaghan is probably the only effective way of cheating him out, but it's hella worth it, as you've likely been killing your opponent's stuff and forcing them to discard creatures and planeswalkers. So on top of granting haste to your entire team, on top of being a 6-power flyer, he acts as a massive deterrent to many answers your opponents may have in dealing with him. So, to be clear, with just 1 Sprouting Thrynax, 1 Pyromancer's Ascension on the board, and 1 Eldritch Evolution in the graveyard, when you cast a second twinned Eldritch Evolution, you can string together, cheating in 1 Goblin Dark Dweller and 1 Thrynax 2 times then finishing up with a Samut and an Archfiend of Ifnir, for a grand total of 28 hasty damage split among 9 1/1 Saproling tokens, a flyer, 2 creatures with menace, and a vigilant double striker. And that's to say nothing about Olivia, mobilized for war, acting as our third and final form of haste that doubles as a way of discarding dredge spells and synergizing with Archfiend of Ifnir. When going into games 2 and 3, it's important to know what exactly you're up against and how your themed cards may not operate well enough under the pressure that that particular deck puts you in. As I said before, Cut to Ribbons and Raven's Crime are definitely the weaker links of the deck, so we want catch-all spells in our 15 in order to change gears as efficiently as possible. Obvious sideboard all-stars include Chalice of the Void, primarily here for when X equals 1 to combat against Bogles, Infect, Burn, and Storm. We also have Surgical Extraction and Pithing Needle. Assassin's Trophy has proven to have its place carved out in the modern format as an improved Beast Within, which plays beautifully alongside Surgical Extraction. And Atarka's Commander is perhaps the best way our deck can fight against life gain, by denying them life and smacking them for a ton more damage, or just ramping right in front of their face. Some common questions along the same lines of Thoughtseize and Lightning Bolt are, why isn't Goblin Guide or Young Pyromancer or Huntmaster of the Fells or whatever else in this deck? And the answer is because it didn't seem appropriate. Ultimately, I don't want to be brewing with the same cards every single time, and that goes double for cards like Goblin Guide that see tons of tournament play, or Young Pyromancer. Also, 1 and 2 converted mana cost creatures are kind of a trap for this deck, as you're stretched thin between Pyromancer's Ascension and Eldritch Evolution, pulling you towards 2 different card super types. Paying 3 mana to get a 1-drop or a 2-drop isn't good enough, and Goblin Guide doesn't do anything to further this game plan. Huntmaster of the Fells is a great creature, but this isn't the deck for it. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and share this video, and leave a comment to tell me what content you'd like to see more of in the future. My name is Aaron, and have an awesome day.